This week marks the last full week of February, a month used to observe African American history in our country. In honor of Black History Month, News Channel 11's Micah Smith tells us about a part of Jonesboro's history that was only recently discovered. She has this story.
Good morning, Casey. There are two historical burial grounds here in Jonesboro, one for white residents and one for black residents. But a few years ago, a Heritage Alliance volunteer discovered a third burial ground, and this one dates back to before the Civil War. In the early days of Tennessee's oldest town, Jonesboro, like many other southern towns, separated its residents by race. Even in death, blacks and whites were separated, creating two different cemeteries. But a few years ago, Heritage Alliance volunteer Gordon Edwards discovered a third burial ground.
I came out and did a little bit of clearing and was able to find the depressions.
In 1896, a group of black residents established a cemetery, but local historians often wondered where African Americans were buried before then.
And we now were able to find that answer.
An old deed.
This is a copy of the last page of the 1849 deed.
And an 1854 newspaper article gave Edwards more insight. In the southeastern portion of the graveyard is the part appropriated to the colored population. It is comprised in a narrow strip.
And that is the strip of land that we have been talking about, and this gives us that, I'll say, proof.
There are no headstones to mark the graves of those laid to rest here.
That some handmade wooden markers were placed, but over time those have been lost. We can't identify by name the graves, but they're clearly there.
Historians say this was most likely the resting place of slaves and free blacks.
There was slavery in Jonesboro. At the same time, you had a really large freed black population. So you had those two existing side by side.
For years, trees and bushes divided Jonesboro cemeteries. But with the brush cleared away and new discoveries coming to light,
both society barriers and natural barriers have been stripped away. So this is all one story.
Special Projects Manager Ann Mason says if you have any information about this burial ground or if you're interested in Heritage Alliance, go ahead and contact their office in Jonesboro. Reporting live in Jonesboro, Micah Smith, News Channel 11 in your corner.
Thank you very much, Micah. Very interesting look back in history.